isn't it playing?
We're live.
Are we live? We are live.
We are.
The little intro didn't play. Well, watch it.
It didn't play. It buzzed back a quick.
Okay. Apparently, I'm on delay. I'm going to have to edit this part out when it goes to iTunes. Anyways, welcome everybody to the PWZ podcast. This is episode 200. I'm very happy about that. This is Rick Del Santo, of course, with the Showtime Marcel Williams. We got two very special guests in the voice of the Northeast, Matt DeCourt and the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. What's going on, everybody?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me here, Professor, Showtime, and Matt.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here, guys. You know, I've wanted to hop in on this for a while, and what better way to do it with episode 200? Let's do it with a bang, boys.
Yeah. We already got somebody in the chat. Who the hell is this? I hope it's not Adonis. Oh, it
Congratulations. Congratulations to PWZ, the Professor Pro Wrestlers Owen, for 200 episodes. There's a lot to be said for that, Professor. So with you and Marcel on here, Showtime, if you will, it's really an honor to be here for your 200th episode. Wow.
Yeah. Started this in the fall of 2019, and now here we are. Just work my ass off trying to get as much content out as possible.
Yeah, Rick Del Santos is the starter of all this, man. He'll put on all the work, the single interviews with everybody else, and he was doing this once upon a time by himself, and I respect it. But we doing it together. We made it to 200 episodes, and a lot of episodes up and down, few delays, few mountains, few roadblocks, but we here. May 31st, 200, hashtag 200.
I want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Adonis, Hakim, Jonathan Sardi, all the way from Massachusetts, Kevin Saban, Tommy Saban, Talking Tommy, as we call him, are all joined in. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right. So what did you guys want to talk about? There really was not much of a forum. If you guys, we can talk a little bit about Double or Nothing. Did you guys enjoy the show? Anybody?
Showtime?
Somebody.
I be on here a lot, so I try to give you all the floor. But if y'all want to ask my opinion, Double or Nothing was a good show. What is it? 3 years in now? 3 years in for AEW.
Yes. Yep.
And this was the second Double or Nothing outside the Daily's place. Basically.
Yep.
And this was a very long event. 12 matches in one night. And we didn't get to see. I know I didn't get to see the main event until 12 midnight or something like that, until Game 7 was over.
Yeah.
But it was a long event. But what was your opinion on this show from top to bottom as we go through it with bullet points, if we will?
Well, what I would like to bring up first, before we get on to Double or Nothing, I watched the whole event. I believe the main event Showtime went off at about 10 after 12 in the morning. But before we get on to that, I'd like to recognize a true legend, and rest in peace to Tarzan Goto, who passed away, who was one of the originators, konnichiwa, to everyone over there in the Pac Rim of the death matches. So RIP to Tarzan Goto. He was only in his middle 50s, I believe, Professor.
Yes, he was. Yep. Yeah, he was still very young. Frequent competitor for the NWA title during his time period as well. Took on Dan the Beast Severn when he was champion.
Yeah, so it truly a true legend, not only in Japan, but for the death matches too. And I have to get on to Showtime's point. 13 matches, including the buy-in. I thought All Out, Double or Nothing was definitely worth the price. You had to plunk down your $50. You either got together with your friends, or maybe you went to a movie theater, or you watched it online. It wasn't, in my opinion, one of their better pay-per-views. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. They only have 4 pay-per-views per year. So to have 12, 13 matches, I didn't mind the length of the show. I really didn't. And we can break down some of the matches, but that's my opening opinion for Double or Nothing. I'll give it a 7 out of 10, and I really didn't mind the length of the show, considering there's only 4 a year. Now, if they did it every month, I wouldn't be happy.
Matt?
Yeah, no, I mean, I would tend to agree with Big Daddy's point. I would also probably score it somewhere like a 7.5. There was, a few matches I felt, might have been a little rushed. Like, they tried to get a lot in a short amount of time. But a lot of them were solid. Some of my favorites, Kyle O'Reilly and Darby, even though initially I fell asleep during it just because of the length, not because it was a bad match or anything like that. But I mean, it was getting late and a little past my bedtime. But thankfully we had the 3-day weekend. I caught up with it the next day. But that was solid. The women's match was pretty solid. The ones at the top of the card were very solid, and everything beneath it. Some, like I said, were better than others, but it was very well built, and you definitely got your money's worth, and it was very enjoyable.
TN Couponer, thank you very much for the comment. For pay-per-views, this being what, close to 6 hours or 5 hours, was it? I'm sorry. I could see 4 hours, but I'd rather go with like a 3-hour pay-per-view. It's just a bit too long to watch that much wrestling. If you watch, you got to consider those people that watch Monday Night Raw every freaking Monday, sitting there for 3 hours, and then got to sit through a 5-hour WWE pay-per-view every week.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's tough.
That's correct.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot. But as I watched Tony Khan after Double or Nothing for the medium scrum, he did have a question about that from somebody saying that this pay-per-view event, not a premium live event, a pay-per-view event on BR Live. And he said that, people pay $60. They only run, like Big Daddy said, they only run 4 times a year. So they pay $60. You want them to get their money's worth. Then you got other people that want to complain and say, okay, well, we got 3 hours. I pay $60. I don't get my money's worth. So you can't win either or. It's the wrestling business. What do we expect? But it was that concern, but Big Daddy could also agree with that, or I understand it was too long, but $60 is a lot of money these days.
It's very true, and what I found and learned through the media scrum and listening to other podcasters that I do listen to, whether it be JD from Off the Script or Don Tony or the Chi-Town Smart heel Jesse, they all put out a lot of news on this, and everyone follows Meltzer and Alvarez and PW Insider, and of course the PWZ. He bought Showtime. He bought an extra hour of the pay-per-view. Tony Khan is, from what I understood, to combat Game 7 of the NBA against Miami and the Boston Celtics. Now, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. He said he did it because of the Martha Hart award ceremony for the Owen Hart Cup. He had an extra 38 minutes, so he added a couple of matches that probably shouldn't have been added. So we learned a lot in the media scrum. And is TK, Tony Khan, if you will?
Yes.
That's what I learned. Purchased an extra hour and added Darby Allin and a couple other matches. Your thoughts on that?
I feel like the crowd got tired even less than halfway through.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things, like at Showtime and Big Daddy kind of elaborated on it. It's kind of a tricky situation, just because, like, in AEW's case, you get 4 pay-per-views a year. Obviously, you want to give as many people as possible a chance to shine on these things. And you look at WWE, they have at least one premium live event a month, and so I can see how that is a little taxing. Like, if every WWE pay-per-view or premium live event, my apologies, was like 4 hours long, like then it's like you got 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown. If you watch NXT 2.0, there's 2 hours of that, and then you add in a 4-hour event every month. That's a lot. But for something like AEW, where it's like it's not often that we get these, then I can live with it being that long. I'll get a Red Bull. I'll if it's getting late and my eyes are shuddering, I'm doing the headbanger, like this, and I know it's gonna be lights out. Then I'll just press pause and I'll finish it the next day, and hopefully I'll avoid things on the internet, but which is easier said than done. But in that case, I can forgive it just because it's not as often with them. But at the same time too, I know, for instance, just being a ring announcer, if one of the events that I work is running long, you do risk losing the crowd, just because I always do the "Are you ready?" at the end, and if it's a well-timed show, they're right there with you, they're screaming their lungs off, they're ready to go. But if things get bogged down, sometimes it's just like golf clap. I'm just like, oh, what the hell? So it's a tricky situation timing these things.
Yeah. Yep. Marcel, you got anything to say?
The crowd, and I apologize for stepping on you guys.
Okay.
You're static. I don't know who it is, but I will say that to say this: the crowd was in and out, but they were pretty electric for the 4 or 5 hours, especially during the Punk and Page match. I'll give the crowd a lot of credit for sitting through that. That's for sure.
Nah, you could, and by the way, you could at MJ Decor for messing up premium live event.
Oh God. Oh God, the internet's coming after me now.
But yeah,
it's I'm gonna get canceled.
This is a cancel era, But yeah, the middle the middle matches, which they had the 2 back-to-back, the Owen matches, it kind of died down a bit. I was really I got a little emotional about the Martha Hart speech. That was a long time coming that we all needed from her. But this event died down a little bit in the middle. I kind of feel like certain of the matches should have been on Dynamite. Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin should have been on it.
I feel you.
For the panel here, just to throw it out here, give the fans your 2 matches maybe that you would have taken out. We won't count Hookhausen and Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling because it was the buy-in show. But out of the 12 matches, give me 2 that you think were just thrown together and maybe should have been left for Dynamite.
Definitely Kyle O'Reilly and Darby Allin in the mixed 6-person tag. That should have been on Dynamite.
That did not go over well for me.
Professor, Matt, step in. It's your show.
Yeah, the mixed tag team match did not go over well for me. I could not get into that one bit. I was just constantly not paying attention to that whole thing.
I personally would say, and again, this isn't because they're bad matches, but it's just this is just the what if hypothetical scenario. I would say House of Black and Death Triangle. I will say the Julia Hart thing at the end was a long time coming. That was nice to see, but at the same time, even though there was some build to it, it was just like I feel like the House of Black has feuds with like 3 different teams right now.
Right.
So like, I felt like that could have probably been bumped off, and as much as I hate to say it, I think Anna Jay and Jade Cargill could have been by. I know it was a title match, but there was very little build to that. And both are great. Anna Jay and Jade have both come a long way since they've made their debuts, and it definitely, like I said, it wasn't a bad match. That was the one I mentioned that I felt was a little rushed, but I felt like that with especially with the weak build, that could have been on Dynamite. And Fly Nye in here. Oh my God.
Let me say,
oh my God.
Let me see this in my Jade card.
Oh my God.
We've got Ref Bill in the house. Hello, Bill. How are you, sir?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Oh, is that Marcel Williams back there? I haven't seen him in such a long time.
Yeah, we meet again, finally.
Yeah, you haven't seen him since we watched Point Break together.
Oh
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Good to see you, Ref Bill.
Who's that?
Let me read this comment. The Bucks and Hardys could have been on Dynamite, to be honest, as much as I love the Hardys. That's from Fly Nine Noriega. I agree with that, honestly.
And I was reading that too right before the prize guest popped in here. And honestly, like the thing that bothered me about that match is that they kept on billing it as like the first time ever match, but yet they're showing the footage of the two teams wrestling in ROH. Right. And like, you know, and that's my thing. It's like it's not that I didn't want to see it, but it's just like I had seen it before, and it's, you know, they're billing it like it's a first time match, but no, I do agree with Flying Eye on that.
Bill, in case you haven't noticed, we're talking about AEW's Double or Nothing from this past weekend. Have you seen it? There's Bill here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I see you, Bill.
Pull it a little bit closer. There we go.
All right. Bill is at work.
200th episode, baby.
You're getting a lot of love in the chat.
What's that?
You're getting a lot of love in the chat.
That's
the live
it.
chat.
As Marcel calls me, big time Bill Thompson now.
Big time Bill Thompson now. He's big time now. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great thing. Big time Bill.
Bill's getting out there. He's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, he is.
Getting all the ladies.
Yeah.
Everything, man. Big time Bill.
That's it.
So what's been going on? Yeah, we're talking Double or Nothing right now.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get to see. I really hadn't seen anything. I wanted to see was Hook and Danhausen together.
That is actually free on YouTube. So that was actually way more fun than I actually expected. So
yeah,
Smart Mark is a gem. Smart Mark Sterling is a gem. I tell you.
He's a second working man.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's not always nice to me in the ring, but yeah, you got to do what you got to
do. What was the biggest upset of the night in your guys' opinion? And I'll throw mine out there and then I'll sit back because I think I'm having some issues here technically, as usual, here in the bunker. To me, the biggest upset, and I caught a lot of heat for it, no fucking way Adam Cole should ever beat Samoa Joe in any organization. Just my opinion. And I know I'll catch some heat for that.
Whoa.
I expected it to go that way. I expected it to go that way as much as I wanted to see Joe win. I just knew it wasn't going to happen. As far as upsets go, I don't think the Hardys needed to win their match against the Bucks at all. They've done everything, in the business. They just did not need that win.
All right. At Big Daddy GOC. At him too.
Everybody's getting canceled tonight.
Everybody getting canceled tonight. So
I'm the only one that's not going to get canceled.
Adam Cole, I kind of knew he's going to take this one. It's a wrong-deserved win for him. I understand your opinion, Big Daddy. I respect it. But Adam Cole has sat here and paid his due just like CM Punk has within the past few months of being on AEW. The only thing I was shocked with DMD taking it. I actually thought Ruby Soho should have took it.
Same thing. Yeah.
But it may be politics. There's no way you're going to have a couple become the Owen Hart winners. But
no politics here on the PWZ, man. No politics.
Yeah. I mean, my pick would... Oh, boy, that's a tough one. I mean, I got to say, I mean, I was honestly pretty happy with all the winners. If there was one... I really thought, that Kyle O'Reilly didn't need to win against Darby, just because Darby is one of their bigger stars, and this is, and it was, I don't want to say it was a throwaway match, but it really was a filler match for the pay-per-view, and
yeah,
I just feel like, again, with Darby being their top stars and Kyle O'Reilly being in, the Undisputed Elite, which are obviously going to be a big deal, but it's more of them as a unit being a big deal. So it's like in a singles match, I felt like that should have gone to Darby.
Okay. Yeah. So what else?
How about, and let me just jump in here again. I like to throw out questions when I don't get a chance to get such a good panel. You guys all know the business. A referee, a wrestler, a historian, and a ring announcer all in one area. So it's nice to have this mixture of viewpoints for the fans. What did you think about the arena match between the Blackpool Combat Club? BCC is the place to be, and I know Showtime can relate to that. And against the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society. I've never seen anything like that. Outstanding.
I'll take the lead on this one because I want to kind of piggyback off of something that Rick said. Rick, you were absolutely right when you said Hook and Hookhausen and Sterling and Nice was a lot more fun than it should have been. And I would say that about Anarchy in the arena. You know, I knew it was going to be crazy bollocks, but like it was just it was a ton of fun. It was literally Anarchy. You know, there was people all over the place. There was blood. You know, there was Wild Thing. I wish they played Wild Thing the whole time. I really did.
Yeah, I wanted to ask everyone about
Jericho
that.
messed up.
Yeah.
Jericho messed up the soundboard by ripping the soundboard out.
But that was a great touch for what his
Yeah.
character is now, and
Yeah.
so it was that match was, in my opinion, definitely one of the matches of the night in terms of sheer entertainment value.
My favorite part of that match was when Eddie Kingston came from the back, looking like a zombie, carrying the gas can, just covered in blood. He was trying to light Jericho and Danielson on fire.
That may be alluding to something in the future, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah, this is when the event really started to pick up. It was a little dip in the middle, and then this really picked it up. I enjoyed it with the Wild Thing playing on a loop. And then one of the podcasts I listened to, Post Wrestling, I guess they knew somebody that owned that little wagon that Jericho and Moxley were wrestling on. So that it didn't want to start up. But that was a great cameo by somebody on that podcast where they almost got their scooter taken during this match. But even, one of the 2.0s having being a bloody mess, and Bryan Danielson having a sleeveless white shirt with his trademark white shirts. It was good back and forth street fight match, a retro street fight match. And like one of the comments with TN Couponer, a tribute to New Jack, where all that music continuously playing on the loop, and then soon it got cut off by Jericho. They just booed after that, but it was still entertaining after all that. And all that cut scenes that we can't stand from WWE, we got to hear, but it was still enjoyable. It was all over the place.
This was a little bit more enjoyable than, like you said, the cut scenes in WWE. Sometimes it just does not help their product. Here, it actually helped this match in a way, because there was a lot going on all over the damn place.
What I would like to have you guys address, again, to have all these different minds and different perspectives from the business here on the show, the 200th of PWZ, let's address the elephant in the room, Wardlow and MJF, and your thoughts. Professor and Showtime, I brought this up to you a month or so ago, and you said, no way in hell, no way, MJF, WWE, no way. Well, we come to find out now about a month later that there actually has been some heat. This isn't all the work. And if you've listened to the different replays and what MJF himself had to say, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because when MJF has signed his contract, I don't want to talk about money and throw people's business out there, but it is for public consumption. He's making under $6,000 a year to begin with in that contract. I know you follow through and you be a man of your word. And give me your thoughts for the fans out there on what you guys thought about that whole angle, and the airplane ticket, the tarmac, not showing up for Fan Fest, the 10 power bombs. I thought it was damn entertaining.
You go to that.
All right. I mean, in terms of, the match, I mean, I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. I mean, obviously, Wardlow is being set up as, one of their, top guys. He's over like Rover right now. And it was, in my opinion, it was with everything going on, it was what the fans wanted to see. And that was good. But I want to bring up a point. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine about this before I hopped on this, and he said it almost seemed like, like a punishment in a way for MJF, just the fact that he barely got any offense in. And again, as I mentioned with Darby Allin, MJF is one of their top draws, or at least he was, like was/is, however you want to put it. But it's a really tricky situation because it's obviously, as I just said, MJF is one of their top stars, both in the ring and on the microphone. And if he wants to be paid like a top star, I think he has every right to do it. I just think the way he's going about it isn't the right way. But that's just me. So.
I know me and GOC had a comment about MJF a few weeks ago, and his contract still don't expire to 2023. That's the point blank truth here. Okay, so
not the point break.
Not the point break.
You won't be. I don't think you'll be seeing him for a little bit though. Showtime.
And
that's my opinion.
And you're absolutely right. And the thing is, it's about doing business. That's what this business is all about. Correction, TN Couponer 2024. That's why I love you. Anyway, MJF is about business. And when he got signed, when this first launched off, all contracts wasn't too sure. Everybody got a landslide deal because we never knew how this is going to turn out within the next year or so. So now we bring in big stars like CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and so on. And, the money goes up. They got big contracts, probably over $1 million contracts. And that's understandable how MJF feel. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's good for business. Showing the meet and greet because people pay $100 to come see you. There's no need for you to punish the fans or even punish Wardlow during this whole thing. He did do business. Once this pay-per-view opened. He took the 10 power bombs. He got stretchered out. And that's how you do business. And that's how you look good in the long run. Going forward, hopefully this works out, man. I mean, he has his reasons to act the way he act. He has sat there and continuously been he had the most compelling storylines throughout the last few years now, throughout everybody else. So his stock speaks for itself, and I agree with him. But the thing is, doing all this stuff along the way isn't going to help you because how WWE feel that he getting a disagreement with them? How do they know that he going to do the same thing with them? We already see the Sasha and Naomi thing. They did that. They going to get punished either or. They getting punished now. They get grilled on TV. They get punished, taking away their their merchandise.
Merchandise.
And getting suspended without pay. You know what I'm saying? You got pick your part. You got to pick your part and know your place.
To your point, whether it was the rumors of Jeff Hardy back when he went into the arena, not at AEW or WWE, I'm talking about, or Naomi or Sasha or what MJF is doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago, this doesn't happen. And I'm thinking that the part of MJF in the beginning of it, was it a work? Did it turn into a work and then shoot, or is it a mixture of both? And again, I'm only going to say this as an old timer. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, Showtime, and this, none of this stuff would happen. People walking out like this. It's not always the most professional thing. And you make a valid point, Showtime. Business is business. And that's why you're in the position you are in the business of being someone who books as well as works because of your knowledge. So I have to agree with you on that. Why? What'd I say?
Do I book? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Kayfabe.
Audio library.
Talking about rumor and innuendo.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Let me take a swig on that one. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm as confused as a baby at Hooters. I don't know what to tell you.
This is my take. This is my take on everything. Is that
Yes.
20 years ago, there was no constant influx of media, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. So stuff
Exactly.
I think, and you might, you've been in this business longer than I have, is that stuff was probably pushed under the rug, or they did a swerve, and then that person, whether they went up to the north or went down south or went to Texas or wrestled in California or Mexico. I just think it's so much out there now where, literally, people are finding out little things about wrestlers going to their hotels before they check in so they can get an autograph, or meeting them at the airport, or finding all this stuff. So, I understand. Listen, at the end of the day, the people in the ring are the ones who are putting asses in the seats. And 1 centimeter this way, an inch the other way is the difference between a move coming across really well and you possibly ending your career. So, you can't say anything as far as, and maybe he's not doing it the right way, but again, we don't know what's going on in the background either. We don't know we don't know what's being done in the background. We don't know what's being said, what pressure's being put on him. So this is the only way that he or she could push back, referring to the WWE, the tag team champions, or I guess they're not anymore. They're like, hey, we don't want to do this. And, before you bury me, it's like when you leave a company on bad terms, you send out an email telling everybody you're leaving on your terms so that your message gets out and not anybody else's message. Because the first story is the first story that everybody hears, and then everything else is collateral chatter in the background.
Valid point, Ref Bill.
Well, we don't know. I mean, according to what did you say his contract was worth, Big Daddy? $6K?
From what I understand, to begin with, now we're going back, like Showtime said, we're going back 2019. I'm hearing less than 6 figures was the standard contract. Like Showtime said, they didn't know where this thing was going. Other stars have come in since then. And I know he got a little bump and maybe got bumped up to 6 figures. But if you look at what the other stars are saying, as Showtime said, what they're making, that's what I'm talking about. They didn't know where this was going 3 years ago.
And look what he's done for that company as far as his star level.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Number one, you talk about Punk, Page.
He's one of the
Adam
best in the
Cole,
company.
I don't care who you talk about. MJF is number 1 in that company, in my opinion.
Yep. Future world champion, in my opinion. He should be next in line.
No.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah, absolutely. No, the guy's the amazing performer, and I don't know what kind of conversations he's had with Tony Khan about getting a raise and how Tony Khan acts. I mean, there's also been speculation on his behavior as well.
Yeah. Well, MJF is still very young too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hell yeah.
If you're smart and you put your money away and you do smart business, you're like, hey, I'll just walk away for a year. CM Punk, how many years were people chanting his name in arenas that have been seen in so many years? You walk away. And
7 years. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It was one of the most anticipated moments in wrestling history.
I agree with Bill. It's a long time that he's been away from the business for 7 years because he also did the walkout. He did the walkout. He didn't want to be he did the Rumble match, and then he was out the next day. He didn't show up for Raw. Same story as Sasha and Naomi. Same thing with Steve Austin. But Steve Austin lost almost $500,000 when he walked out. Say it's the biggest mistake he ever made. And then on top of that, you had CM Punk, which was lucky enough to get the UFC deal and have the 2 matches that he had and a few movie deals here, comic books here. He networked to do other things, so he survived those 7 years. But Maybe Sasha could do the same thing, doing with the Mandalorian or other movie deals. Naomi, I pray for her because all she is been doing the whole time is wrestling. So you don't know what other things, but there's other things that other superstars or wrestlers invest in, like Seth Rollins got the coffee shop in the school. So there's other things that they make money with. So I respect that, but I just say you always got to do business. You cannot. Let's just say he walked out last Sunday. What would happen with Wardlow after all this story being built? You gonna sit here and not put this guy over who is like white hot right now?
Right.
So it would have been messed up for you to sit there and do all that just to tarnish Wardlow and not put him over. So I'm really glad that he really did come in and do the business that he did and made him look strong. And that shows how much of a good man he is doing this and continuing to do it with AEW. For now.
What do you guys think of the placement of that match on the card?
Well, I heard that set up weeks ago to start off that way. I heard through sources, and I have so many sources, I have to outsource my sources, that I heard it was placed, again, I'll tell you, it was Meltzer, that was
Everybody know Meltzer.
Well, go back. Remember, right? I'm older than Meltzer. But yes, it was reported, as you guys well know, that it was the number one match from the get-go. So I don't think that was anything that was going to change, Professor.
Okay.
Besides that, we had two big debuts last Sunday.
Huge.
3. Wasn't it 3?
No, it was 2.
Now there's 3.
I think
There was,
Professor
one might not be so big. Yeah, but one might not be so big. We had, of course, Stokely Hathaway, a.k.a. Malcolm Bivens from NXT. Athena came out in the same segment, and then later on in the evening, Roosh was introduced by Andrade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing him there.
Athena and Bivens are going to make a huge impact. I like that Bivens there, the old school style manager, which is not utilized enough. AEW does a decent job with that. And of course, the former Ember Moon should have been there already. So those two are going to be huge. And Roosh has been around for a while. So again, let's look at this. And I think Showtime alluded to it, or maybe it was the Professor. The WWE on their last pay-per-view had less than 20 grapplers. AEW had over 50 for this pay-per-view event. That's a lot to be said for that. It's a lot of money. A lot,
but don't forget, what did they do last year? Didn't they release 82 employees?
A lot.
And that's talent. That's not including people backstage or, random other people. That's 82 performers they let go. And like at least 5 or so of those people were main event level at that present time or involved in major storylines on the show. And then all of a sudden those storylines were just dropped.
No doubt.
So.
Yeah, but that just comes
to me right now, not to jump on anybody's toes, and we're.
Go ahead. Who was?
We lost GOC. Oh,
no, he's still there.
He froze.
Is he still there?
He froze.
Well, hopefully GOC comes back.
I'm back.
But as they go ahead, GOC.
I apologize. The internet down here is unbelievable. I got to go up to the conference room. But the two biggest stories in the WWE that I'm following, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, and of course the Bloodline, the Usos and Roman Reigns. To me, that's what's worth it right now in the WWE. Just I'd like to get your guys' opinion since we've been talking strictly about AEW.
Well, as we segue into WWE, I'm just going to say one more thing about AEW. As they bring in the new stars, we all know that sooner or later they're going to get rid of old stars. Mm-hmm. So that's how the business is. You bring in great stars that can perform top-notch, and you'll get rid of the stars that you had that was kind of performing but not performing at the top-notch that Roosh is and CM Punk and Bryan Danielson is. So I just hope the best for performers going forward because it's hard out there, man, even though there's a lot of promotions. But as we segue to WWE, And we talk about the bloodline and Roman Reigns being the top notch of this company. Let's talk about Money in the Bank switching from Allegiant Stadium to the MGM Grand.
That was a good segue.
That was a great segue.
We're good. We're good at segues here.
I didn't get myself together.
What was it? Low ticket sales? Is that the reasoning? Is that what the reason they gave?
Well, they already sold 17,000 tickets, and I guess they wanted to sell at least 25,000. But now, as the poster changes, you got Brock Lesnar off the poster, Roman Reigns off the poster, and Ronda Rousey off the poster. This is a kind of a big change because
that
then
doesn't
Nick
put
Khan wanted
asses in seats. That's for sure.
It sure doesn't. And not only that, it all broke the plan of Nick Khan wanting most of these big events in stadiums. So it's kind of a big disappointment that this is going to make a change to the MGM Grand. There's nothing wrong with the MGM Grand that hosted all the Halloween Havocs for WCW and the first ever Double or Nothing. But
a lot of UFC events.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's a big change for what they was talking about going forward.
I don't think.
My apologies, guys, for the technical difficulties. I really do apologize for this. I hope I'm not ruining the 200th episode here with these technical issues.
You're good. What was that, Bill?
I just don't think they could draw.
I don't think that's. I think that's the case as well. I've gone to 2 WWE events in the last year. I have to say I was miserable for those 3 or 4 hours. However, I do notice that there was a lot of empty seats in these. I went to Survivor Series last year, and there was around the area that I was sitting, there was a lot of empty seats. Seriously. So I think that drawing is a problem with theirs now. But they make a lot of it overseas with their merchandising deals and the pay-per-views overseas now. So do you really think they're worried about, a quarter of the arena being empty these days? They're making it all up in merchandise and their overseas deals. They can care less what's going on over here in the United States these days, it seems.
Well, that's probably their biggest problem is that they.
Yeah.
You the thing is, we're in some way, shape, or form, we're spoiled because a lot of what's that?
You think, Bill?
Yeah, we are. It's like I can only speak for myself because I'm big time Bill Thompson now.
Big time Bill.
Big time.
On a weekend, if you're going working on a Friday and a Saturday or maybe a Sunday, Thursday, whatever it is, depending how many shows you're working as a wrestler, Matt, as an announcer like Matt, a referee like myself. Sometimes what you're seeing on the independent scenes compared to what you're seeing on WWE is you're like, I just saw a match that was 10,000 times better.
Yes.
I watched Alec Price and Brad Hollister last week at the Wrestling Open just destroy each other. You're looking
Great
at
match.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
It was awesome. Yeah.
You're looking at other organizations, we'll use, Paradise Alley, you got all these different promotions, around just the Connecticut area. You look at some of those matches and you just say to yourself, it's like, these are so much more exciting than what you're seeing. And you're seeing more action and less talking. It's like, okay, we're wrestling. We're not going to spend 45 minutes talking. And then we get in the ring and it's, you're going to 11:30. You're just like, all right, when's this over? So I haven't watched WWE I work on Monday nights, but I haven't watched a show for the WWE in a year and a half, 2 years.
And that was one thing that I kind of wanted to bring up too, Bill, is I'm not one of those people that will watch something just because they feel like they have to and then crap on it. I didn't a few years ago. I didn't like what I was seeing in WWE, and so I stopped watching Raw and SmackDown. And then once NXT 2.0 happened, I dropped that as well. It just wasn't for me. And it's one of those things where, and there are things that do get me interested. Like Bill said, like different strokes for different folks. Like I was a really big NXT fan back in the day, and so like seeing that Finn Balor and AJ Styles are teaming up that intrigues me. I'll probably watch that. You know, seeing that there's a triple threat match between Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Becky Lynch, who I think are all phenomenal competitors. I think that's going to be a good match. I'll probably watch that, you know, but like there are certain things that, you know, like they're doing this, like, I guess like this Elias Ezekiel thing. Like as much as I love Kevin Owens, I really don't have any interest in that, you know? And so my thing is that, you know, like there's, they haven't really done a good job of tying this all together. It doesn't seem like they've done a good job of building big stars. You know, it's like when Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, and Roman Reigns disappear, it's like what's left. And you know, it's not like they released 80-something people. They had a great crop that they could have done something with to get everybody involved. It's like I grew up during the Attitude Era, and even though, like, you know, people weren't champion, like I remember Val Venus to this day because it was a ridiculous character and he had crazy storylines. But that's the thing, is you remember it. Like, and it's just like, I don't know. It's like I feel like there's just been so much wasted potential there in the last few years.
Yeah.
Too many just overplayed, overbooked storylines, and it's just, that to me is not a recipe for success.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The Attitude Era was full of stars. You had different stars. Even you had D'Lo Brown becoming a star.
Messing with the real deal now.
In the mid 1999, and there was a lot of stars to be made in certain positions that they was put in. But right now, you got a few stars like Bianca Belair that's standing out. Becky Lynch kind of cooled down a little bit. You know, she's still that selling merch. But Roman Reigns was their star, and now he's on part-time, which is well deserved. If you could get part-time, get part-time. That's more money, less time, less bumps. And I just, you know, WWE is on cruise control now. They're making money off these TV deals. Like Rick Del Santo said, like it's overseas. They making multi money from everywhere possible. So those ticket sales really don't mean anything right now.
That Peacock deal was an outlandish deal. They got so much money from that Peacock hasn't even started to make money off that yet. Just want to let you all know that the GOC is having technical issues. He is, I guess he's been kicked out by the technical gods. Okay, just letting y'all know and the listeners. So
There's
yeah,
trouble in that bunker, people. Trouble in that bunker.
So, what did I just say? We're talking about something. Sorry.
Oh, he's talking about
the Peacock deal.
Yeah,
the Peacock deal was, it was like an outlandish deal. The WWE made so much money off of that. On their end of the deal, that Peacock or NBC, whatever you want to call it, hasn't even started to make their money back as of yet. No, and they half-assed it too.
And that contract goes for how long with them?
Yeah. Peacock. Yeah. Then what's going to happen when that contract expires? You know, where's it going to go? Will they renew? Will they end up building another WWE network on their own? I think that they found that the WWE network was too hard to manage on their end. So they had to have another streaming service handle it and do all the uploading and live streams themselves.
Well, the only thing... Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was just agreeing with them, yeah.
No, the only thing I can say is Nick Khan is a smart guy. So the thing is, instead of you burning all this money to do the WWE network, which was running well, I had it since it started. And he just decided to sit here and say, well, why won't we have our own streaming deal, basically buy our library? And that was smart. Instead of you sitting there running this whole network and making, which was another smart idea to have a WWE network. It was not wrong with that. But to have another brand buy your library to put on all their shows with this friend Seinfeld, they're gonna at me at Showtime Marcel, they'll kill me. And
everybody's canceled.
Everybody canceled. And all these great shows that's under the NBC Universal content. Why would you not want to buy? You got all these streaming apps like Netflix, you got Amazon Prime Video, you got Disney Plus, if they gonna pay you multi-billion dollars or $1 million for your library, why would you not sell that for a library that a network that you was making less than? So it was a smart idea. Just like, politics aside, when it comes down to business, they go on overseas to do Dubai or Riyadh and getting millions of dollars just to do 4 shows per year for 10 years. It's a smart move. It's about the money. It's about building the WWE brand. I get it. But your brand is stale and you getting lazy because you're making that money. And I given up. Trust me, I given up. I watch it from time to time because I'm always going to be a fan. I've been watching it since I was little. But it's not the same brand as it was before. And that's just like my grandfather, God bless him, and all the other elderly people that used to watch wrestling. They used to stay in the Attitude Era. It's not what it used to be. Wrestling changes. We got to understand that.
Yeah, you got to evolve.
And I don't know how much WWE's evolved. I mean, it's still the same thing that they've been doing since the Attitude Era, the same format. I mean, It's not without the attitude stuff, but the formats of the TV show. It's not, obviously, I don't know. Are they still rated PG?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a shame. I'm looking at, Bill in the chat, and Bill has a really nice sticker on the outside of his laptop. I can see that bright in the screen.
Bill,
now it's just Bill.
Advertisement money.
Yeah,
Big
right.
time Bill. I told you.
You
advertisement
were
money.
about the Iron Man one, right?
We're talking about the PWZ sticker.
I told you. Big time Bill. Advertisement. If you ever want anybody for your podcast, TV show, infomercial, big time Bill.
So yeah,
that's it. Big time Bill Thompson. So I want to be in.
I mean, him just coming on just increased the views probably tenfold, right, Rick?
Exactly. Bill's a big star.
Well, since you're watching Big Time Bill, I'm just gonna say, please share and subscribe. PWZ, we need all the Bill fans, please. So please, subscribe, share, like.
You might need
Thank you.
Network after that bump.
Superstar Bill is fly nice. Go ahead.
I got a couple of fans out there somewhere, so.
I just gotta say that
you're throwing elbows at people.
I just gotta say that my kids are all big fans of yours, Bill. They ask about you all the time. So
that's because I say hello to them at the shows and I give them stickers.
Yeah.
What the hell happened there? Did somebody fall through the ceiling?
Pretty much.
Well, we just had a run in. It's okay. I got you covered. So now, let's talk about the local scene. Let's talk about, because Bill, you're all over the local scene. We call there's no reason that I call you. There is a reason that I call you Big Time Bill. So let me know what's going on in the local scene of Connecticut, the Northeast.
What's up? So, I mean, like, what's going on this weekend or what's going on overall?
What's going on overall before we get to this weekend?
Well, it
was a big weekend.
Very big weekend. It's got a couple of newcomers out there. Of course, got to give some shout out to Empire Pro Wrestling. So, working with a couple of people on that one. They got a show come up. Hey, I got my shirt at home. I was going to wear it today, but I wore it 2 days in a row. I got my free shirt.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, Empire Pro coming up out of the PAPW Performance Center. Should be a great show. The 18th of June. Please come to the show. Matt and I are not in the ring together by ourselves.
I will be there.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
I don't know if we need to give much of a shout out to Wrestling Open because they're doing pretty well. But
yes, they are.
Listen, there's just a lot of fun stuff out there. It's like you got a lot of folks that kind of were sitting back during the pandemic and they're like, hey, you know what? There's some good stuff. I mean, you talk about evolving. And I know Rick's probably been watching this a little bit longer than, some of us, but, you had the, uncharted territory with Beyond. And then they flipped their format and did the Wrestling Open, and that thing's progressively gotten bigger and bigger every week. And listen, I've been doing that show for, I don't know, I think like close to 17 weeks now. And you just see the crowd. You go out there, and then you got the crowd, and before you know it, you get to the fourth, maybe the latest fifth match, and you're like, wow, this place is pretty packed. So there, did I mention Empire Pro Wrestling?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I just want to make sure I mentioned Empire Pro
You're
Wrestling.
really trying to get raised. I respect it.
That's it. Let's see. I just did some work for Pro Wrestling Grind up out of.
They run good shows out there. They put some really good shows on.
They invited me up there, and they hit me up. They're like, we need a referee. I guess they had an issue, and I was like, hey, yeah, I'd love to go, and had a great time. They did a great job up there. And I believe I might be going back. But yeah, great time. But then you have some of the standbys that have been around. You got PAPW. Can't not mention that. I never heard of that thing. You got PAPWs. You got the bigger shows we're doing. You got the alley fights, which is just always a great time. Let's see. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I don't want to forget that one because I'll never hear the end of that either. Sweat and Tears is running this, Matt, we running Saturday?
Friday.
It's Friday night.
Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. Blood, Sweat, and
Hell of a
Tears.
card, folks.
Yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Tears is on Friday, which is kind of a cool thing. It's not bad. It's a lot of fun. You got Test of Strength is running on Saturday.
Test of Strength versus Invictus this Saturday.
That's it. So you got that there. Wrestling Open on Thursday. Pioneer Valley Professional Wrestling's been making a comeback. They had a show probably about a month ago, and I believe they're running Saturday too. So you see all these different places kind of, just picking up. Beyond has got another show coming up. I think going up in Foxborough. Let's see. I'm missing quite a few, but I'm trying to remember. Up in Maine, the guys from Limitless, but they're doing. I think it's Let's Wrestle.
Yeah, Let's Wrestle. Yep.
Yeah. So they looked at their format. They're doing different things. So yeah, I think it's an exciting time in this area. I think is Immortals back up in.
Oh yeah.
So I think Matt did some work with them.
I do.
And then you got listen, it's all over the place. Coliseum Wrestling ran their first show. I heard there's a company called Empire Pro Wrestling. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with them. They're coming up.
That check is looking big. I respect it.
At this point it's going to be PWZ episode 200, Empire Pro Wrestling.
That check is looking big. Listen. Just like Hogan said, I see the $100 bills hanging out your pocket at Amazon Vest.
That's it.
I see it.
I said run on the street. Empire Pro Wrestling. So just trying to increase those royalties there. But it's. I just think there's so much good stuff out there. People just trying to do the right thing. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. I'm sure I'll get a text later. You piece of crap! You didn't mention my.
I think Coliseum mentioned or posted at least that they're going to be announcing another show soon. So
yes, to elaborate on a few things that Bill said, it's in the Northeast now. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you're spoiled because there's so much good stuff that is in the pipeline. Just for me, Bill mentioned Blood, Sweat, and Tears this Friday in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Great card, check it out. Saturday, Test of Strength and Invictus are combining for United We Fight. that's going to be huge. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I love crossovers, so this is going to be tremendous. Later this month, Empire Pro Wrestling. Why not? Someone give me a cup, please. But yeah, no, it's that one's going to be a blast. I love, helping promotions that are starting out, especially ones, that are, with, a great roster, a great group of talent, that's going to be on that. I've been doing a lot of work for New World Wrestling Extreme. James Allen Trooper has been, expanding his brand. He's been branching out to some new places, and it's always a good time working with them. PAPW, they got a lot of stuff. We got Power Play coming up later in June, and then a few days after that. Got Wild Wrestling from the Cadillac Ranch, Fight TVs. That one's going to be enormous. Bill mentioned Immortal. I've, work on and off with them. They've got a great thing out of the Albany, upstate area of New York. I got to announce James Storm, and, I loved watching him in America's Most Wanted in the mid 2000s TNA era. So, that was wild, the one thing I do want to shed a little light on too, that's coming back in July, for those that are fans of geek culture and pro wrestling, Cosplay Championship Wrestling will be making its return at Kineticon in July. I believe it's the 15th, 16th, and 17th. You might want to just double check and fact check me just to make sure on that, but Bill and I were both there last year, and that was some of the most fun I've ever had. They got a 6-sided ring. Like some of the cosplay that, the wrestlers did was just outstanding. And it was such a blast. And I was so excited to hear that it was coming back. And that's something very cool that, if you're looking for something different, looking for something fun, and you also want to go check out Kineticon, I mean, it's a huge win all across the board with that. So, and then I also, just a real quick shout out to New Age Wrestling. I've been doing a lot for them. Always have a lot of fun up there in Springfield, Mass. Even though I haven't done much with them lately, big shout out to Kevin Landry's Pro Wrestling Combine. They're still killing it with Shut Up and Wrestle. That was a place that was very instrumental in my career. I know I've seen a lot of people go up to Maine. Vacation Land Pro Wrestling is a great spot. Definitely keep an eye on them if you're up up further north. There's just I'm sure I'm missing some too. Like, I'm probably going to get canceled too. But but that's the thing. It's just there's so much good stuff that's just in our backyard. It's phenomenal.
New England is on fire this summer already. June is just going to be crazy, and there's so much going on this summer in the Northeast. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to shows this coming summer, because there's literally so much going on. And if you remember last year, we're still in the pandemic and there wasn't a whole lot to see. But this summer, it's going to be insane. It's going to be it's going to be a very active summer.
It is. Cosplay, like Matt said. I mean, I know there's ones we're missing, but it's like you literally can turn around, and just some of the folks got. I mean, I don't even think I mentioned what was it, Blitzkrieg? What's it, Tough and Talented Wrestling? If I'm
yeah, they've got a show June 18th as well in Torrington. Yeah,
I mean, there's literally, in some cases, 3 promotions running in 3 different areas on the same night, and you're just like, So I just go where Marcel tells me to go, where I'm booked. So,
yeah, little do they know that Marcel's taking 10% of that Empire Pro Wrestling plug fee.
Yeah,
I don't know where you're at, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have I mentioned Empire Pro Wrestling?
Never heard of it.
June
18th at the
June 18th.
PAPW the training facility.
We like to call it the PAPW Arena.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Who said that?
Apparently Bill did.
Somebody group me about that. You get that? Group me, right?
They told him they would cancel him if you didn't do it.
Exactly.
Please cancel me. So you going somewhere, you cancel me. Speaking of canceled, I have to go back to work. Look, what are you drinking? A beer back there?
I have.
That's
to.
what we.
During
That's
this
what we
time
do
right
here,
here,
especially.
we do that.
Especially,
it's been a while since I drunk on these episodes, so this was 200 episodes. So.
We have to,
200
especially if we're
episodes.
talking
Y'all gotta go
WWE.
crazy.
Hey, I am at work. I've been actually working as I'm talking to you guys, but now I got to do the real work. Yeah, I got to go. I had a great time, but we should all, get together and kind of maybe do a roundtable thing where we're sitting down and just eating food and talking wrestling, and I think that'd be a lot of fun too.
I'm definitely down for that. I'm gonna hit you guys up
100%.
regarding a cookout soon. So, but we'll talk about that later.
All right, guys. I'll see. I got to go. Marcel, don't worry. I'll make sure I take care of everything. I don't want to get yelled at by you.
Well, you just do you sure you want to make one more plug to Empire Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bill, what are you doing on June 18th again? I don't think I caught that.
I think
I don't hear those bills flying anymore. So
at Empire Pro Wrestling, June 18th at the PAPW event arena.
662 Co Avenue, East Haven, Connecticut, 06512. Bell time 7 p.m. Make sure you're following Empire Pro Wrestling, Empire Pro Wrestling CT, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
That's Matt. You don't try to take away some of the pay I'm getting. Okay.
I swear, I hear. I swear,
I want some of that cut. Damn it!
I hear the Cash App notification popping out your pockets right now.
Before I'm getting off.
Thank you, Bill, for stepping in tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem. As someone said, please buy those tickets. I got kids. So
if I don't see, have a good one. Thank you.
Bye.
We got T and Couponer with a question, guys. Your thoughts on Ric Flair's last match being so expensive at StarCast? I'm not sure what the ticket sales were, but I know the fight bundle is outlandish. It's like really ridiculous.
What are we looking at for price point?
I know for the roast, if you buy the stream for the roast, if you buy that by itself without the bundle, it's $69 just for the roast. Yeah. Because I looked it up because I was damn near close by and I was like, hell no, I'll actually just find another outlet to watch that. But then there was the actual pay-per-view with his last match is actually cheaper than that at $34.99.
Do we even know what the undercard is?
We know nothing about the card. Nothing has been announced yet.
Undercard?
There's not a card. The only thing that's known about it is Ric Flair. Literally. And not for nothing, the bundle itself, if you buy the whole StarCast weekend, which includes all the Q&As and all that bullshit and the event, $279.99 to stream all that shit on Fight TV.
That's ridiculous.
Now, if you're not telling me that's not a cash grab, I don't know what is.
That's like almost like the price of a video game console. That's more than the price of a video game console these days, I think.
Yeah,
but
that's ridiculous.
I will say this, just for me. I mean, there's two sides to the coin. I personally will not be watching just because, like, look, I know Ric Flair is a legend, an icon, one of the best to ever do it, no doubt, no question. I only caught the tail end of his career, so like there's I don't have that connection with Ric Flair that others might. Let me put it to you like that. But I will say this, and I've noticed this, even with me now, is that, in addition to being a pro wrestling fan, I'm also an MMA fan. And there was a time, it's thankfully tapered off a little bit, but, there was a time that, like aging UFC stars would get cut, and then a couple years later they'd surface in a smaller promotion like Bellator or, something else. I remember Oscar De La Hoya put on Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz 3, which was a fight that didn't need to happen. But did I watch it? Hell yeah, I did, because I freaking loved Chuck Liddell back in the day. And did I think he could beat Tito? No, but I had to see it, because it was freaking Chuck Liddell fighting again.
Yeah.
And I think that right there is probably going to be the appeal to a lot of people, because Ric Flair is so beloved that they'll buy it and tune in because it's Ric Flair,
Personal opinion, he is the greatest wrestler of all time. I will say that. I am slightly intrigued on watching this event. I don't know what it is. Like, the kid inside of me says, yes, you got to see this, but the grown man, an adult and a parent, etc., think that this is going to be a fucking disaster. Like, he very well could have a heart attack. I think me and you discussed this before, Marcel, a couple times, that this is just going to be a disaster. He's going to drop dead. He has a pacemaker, for crying out loud, and he's going to be in there. How much is he going to do? Is it going to be a tag match where, I could see it being a tag match and then him not necessarily having to do much? He can just come out and woo, and the crowd's going to fucking go nuts, and then that's the end of the match. What's going to happen? There's a lot of concern from a lot of people for him and his safety going into this.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. He's if anybody in the comment could correct me, but he's in the early 70s. He's like, we just watched a Vince McMahon 2-minute match at WrestleMania, and we could see how frail Vince McMahon was doing these clotheslines.
He destroyed Pat McAfee. What are you talking about? Those are vicious clotheslines.
Jesus, those was
deadly
like
clotheslines.
Those was other pillows clothesline that I was seeing from Vince McMahon. But this is the same thing, but it just Ric Flair has a bad heart. He has a pacemaker. But it's just this is not worth the price of admission. I'm not gonna purchase this event because I just want to remember Ric Flair as he was and as he left the WrestleMania 24 against Shawn Michaels, which was supposed to be his real final match. And I just remember him from there. TNA run, I don't look at that. Can't stand
He admits that it's a cash grab. Jonathan Sardi says Steamboat refused to work with him for this match. That is correct. He thought about it, but then he decided not to. Team Couponer says, heard it's supposed to be a 6-man tag with Flair and FTR and Rock and Roll Express and the Mystery Man. Nothing has been actually confirmed as of yet. Nothing has been announced. There's no clue to what the card is supposed to be at all, other than Flair taking part.
I'm just going to call it right now. The only way they'll get my $35 if it's Ric Flair and FTR versus the Rock and Roll Express and the Black Scorpion. If that happens, they can have my $35 3 times over.
If that happens, I'm having a party. That's all I'm saying. I bought a new grill yesterday. I'm just gonna fire that shit up, and everybody can come over. I'll pay for it.
I will absolutely put in on that to see that 6-man tag.
All right, now that we got all the local stuff out of the way as well, guys, I think it's about time we wrap it up. This has been episode 200. I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. GOC, Matt DeCourt, of course, Ref Bill, and everybody that tuned in to the chat. Tommy Sabin, TN Couponer, MIT was actually in the chat for a little bit. The House of Pain, and a bunch of others. I want to thank you, everybody. Can't remember you all. Sorry. Matt, where can we find you this weekend? You're going to be at TOS and Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So once again, you can catch me this weekend, Friday night, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling Cataclysm. The card's going to be headlined by Dustin Flash Waller defending the championship against the Grapple God Jordan Rowe. And then the following day in Torrington, Connecticut, it is Test of Strength / Invictus Pro Wrestling. United We Fight. Again, it's going to be the stars of Invictus, the stars of Test of Strength. and it's going to be tremendous. I'm going to be sharing ring announcing duties with Ryan Peterson, who's also a tremendous ring announcer that night. Given the theme of promotion and promotion here. So it's going to be a blast this weekend, folks. And if you're in the area, definitely don't sleep on these events and come check them out. You will not be disappointed.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcel. Oh, wait, hold on. Matt, where could we find you on the socials?
Absolutely. You can find me on Facebook, Matt DeCourt, MattDacorte, just like it's spelled at the bottom right there. I think I spelled it right. And you can also, I do have Twitter, though I don't use it too much. I'm sorry. Twitter just became a little too toxic for me. So, I kind of cut that out. But my Instagram and Twitter handles are the same. Much more active on Instagram, and that is at MJ DeCourt.
Showtime. You sound very
my breath ready. I gotta get all my advertisements right. I will be at Blood, Sweat, and Tears this Friday facing Garrett Holiday. So don't miss out on this Friday Blood, Sweat, and Tears event. More information is on all their social media.
Just a quick interjection right there. By the way, I'm not saying that just because you're my friend and you're also on this podcast. I am legitimately looking forward to that.
I appreciate that. But join Blood, Sweat, and Tears on all social media wrestling, and at me at Showtime Marcel at all social media, Instagram, Facebook, and the toxic Twitter. And you can also join us for PWZ on the regular. Rick, give them those signals.
It is the PWZ Network on Instagram. Oh, crap. At PWZ Podcast on Twitter. And at the Rick Del Santo on Twitter. That's my personal. I wouldn't really say it's that personal. I just shoot shit about wrestling and rock and roll. And of course, you guys can look up the PWZ Pod on Facebook, where we do a lot of posting on the Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget PWZ Pod on TikTok too, where you'll find short clips of this wonderful show and all these wonderful guests and stuff. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.